Can you talk a little bit more about the flashbacks? I love how we get to see more of Henry's life, and he's revealed through these flashbacks.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really, really fun storytelling device for us. So we don't have to do like a straight up procedural every week. We get to do our procedural, and then we also every week have a flashback story. And so that story can span any part of his 235-ish years. So, as I said, we're going to do a flashback story that involves 1880s and the Jack the Ripper case. We're also doing a flashback story that we're shooting Tuesday that will be flashing back to like 1815. So it's a year after Henry was initially killed on the slave ship, and he comes back to London and sees his wife, who thought he was dead, and she's sort of standing over his gravesite, and he sees her for the first time. And then it's the episode is sort of, we try and have our flashbacks relate to the sort of theme for us of the episodes. We try and break a regular procedural, and then we try and get like real intellectual and emotional with it. And so the theme of that episode is trust. And so when he comes back and sees his wife, she starts to ask him, what happened to you? She sees the scar that he has on his chest and what happened. And it would be the first time he's ever told a person of his affliction, what happened. And so he tries to tell her, and we see the sort of ramifications of what happens. And without giving too much away, the next episode we see Henry in Bedlam in London, which is, the old psychiatric unit. So it doesn't play too well. But so we get to do that. We also get to tell the flashback story of Henry and Abigail's sort of lost love, and we'll play that over several years and several episodes. But then we also get to flash back to like a young Abe. We have the baby in the pilot, but then we also get to see like a 10-year-old Abe. And we're doing an episode about jazz. And Henry is a big classical music fan, and we get to flash back to Henry and like a 9 or 10-year-old Abe when he's trying to teach him the piano, and Abe doesn't want to learn classical music, and from the apartment next door they hear like loud jazz being played in a fight, and this guy comes storming in that's a jazz musician, and his girlfriend sliced his hand, and he needs Henry to mend him. And while Henry sort of goes off to get his medical bag, the jazz musician sits down next to Abe and starts to play, and we start to see how like a young Abe developed a love of jazz. And we have other episodes that show like young Abe's first kiss, and him seeing that woman in present day, 60 odd years later. Just really sweet kind of stories. Some of them are sort of scary stories, like our Bedlam episode, and then some of them will be like this sort of sweet, innocent flashback stuff.
Can you talk
That's
about...
a long-winded answer.
I liked it.
Yeah.